嘘だろ。
What's going on, guys? Yandere Gogeta here, and welcome to my review of Judgment. In my last video, I said I'm going to work on a review of this game, and I'm happy to finally share it with you all. Judgment is a very interesting game to say the least, so I hope you look forward to hearing my perspective of this gem. Before we get started, please like, comment, and subscribe to see more content like this in the future. Now, let's search for the truth. In Judgment, you take the role of former lawyer gone detective Takayuki Yagami, owner of Yagami Detective Agency. He decided that the lawyer gig wasn't for him after a certain case in his past, and that a detective suited him more, namely for not needing to wear a suit on the job. His partner, Kaito, alongside other allies he meets on his journey, aids him in his endeavors. The story of Judgment is about 40 hours long depending on how you go about it.
You're gay! He's gay! I'm not gay. He's gay!
Throughout the main story, you will be tasked with solving various cases of Kamurocho's criminal underground. Along the way will be incredible twists and developments you never have expected. In my opinion, the story of this game was paced exceptionally well, and there was never a time where I was dreading going into the next objective, which is quite rare for me in modern video games. You'll make new allies, as stated before, and new enemies. Your perception of people and the actions around you will constantly change. One second you may hate someone, then respect them more than anyone else, and vice versa. It truly keeps you on your toes and makes you look forward to what is to come. You will also learn more about Yagami's past as a lawyer, and even before then, when he was still a child. Experiencing his growth as a person and character as you progress through the story is satisfying to the curiosity of the player and really elevates things. Throughout the story, there will be boss battles and long battles where you'll need to fight through countless people to make it to the next objective. These will test your combat abilities and knowledge of Yagami's fighting styles to make it through. The boss battles have quick time events with some of the most impressive cinematics I've seen in a game. Quick time events may be overdone nowadays, but Judgment utilizes them superbly. Here's a clip of the final cinematic. The story revolves around a past incident where a man named Shinpei Ukubo was charged for drunkenly murdering his girlfriend, Emi Terasawa. Yagami had just before proved his innocence of killing a hospital patient beforehand, so this sequence of events led him to give up on being a lawyer and he blames himself for Emi's death. The ADDC, a medical facility which was about to shut down, revealed they are working towards a drug to cure Alzheimer's called AD9. This drug's development is led by Yoji Shono, who had been Emi's killer all along. The director, Ryusuke Kido, and the Minister of Health, Ichinose, were involved as well. They abducted people in Kamurocho to do human experiments on, and then they made it seem like it was random gang violence so people didn't become suspicious. They also experiment on anyone who is catching on to their game, which leads the Yagami senpai, Shintani, to be killed as well. Once Yagami discovers all of this, he sets out to reveal the truth and put a stop to this at any cost. Alongside Kaito, Sugiura, and Higashi, they go on all kinds of adventures to do this. Eventually, they learn that the killer had been a Kamurocho police insider, Kuroiwa, making their job much harder since the entire system is backing 89's development at this point. Their chances of winning are slim, but they do eventually find evidence that can put this whole project to rest. Yagami takes Ichinose to court, and Hoshino is tasked to finish the job while Yagami goes and saves Shono from being killed by Kuroiwa. After an insane battle, Yoji Shono kills himself with 89, Kuroiwa is shot to death by the police, and Ichinose declares 89 a failure in court and reveals all of the secrets. After all this, Yagami and Kaito go back to their small-time gigs in Kamurocho, like saving cats. I dumbed down the story a lot, but there is a lot more depth to it than this. I didn't even mention half the characters that are in the story, but chances are that if you are watching this part of the review, then you've probably already played the game already. If you have not and you're just interested in hearing my side of the story, then I still recommend picking this game up and playing it. Even though this video has already revealed the main plot, there is so much more to explore. Now I would like to talk about something else that the game does well throughout. It knows when to shift tone and how to build suspense. The most apparent examples of this in the game are when Yagami discovered Shintani Sensei's body in the closet, and when you raid the ADDC's private lab in Kamurocho. It starts feeling like a horror game with the quietness and suspense building because you sort of know what to expect, but you don't know if it'll fake you out or exceed your expectations. The killer, Kuroiwa, is foreshadowed to be the killer subtly throughout the entire game. He always shows up at convenient times, but you wouldn't really notice this until the end where it is revealed. The part that stood out to me in my New Game Plus Legend playthrough was when he started dragging Ayabe around with him so he couldn't talk to Yagami, nor figure out what happened while he was being framed for the murder behind the scenes. It makes so much sense in retrospect, but you would never guess this in the heat of the moment. To shift into the less depressing parts of the story, it also knows how to kick back and have fun. There are funny sections such as helping Hoshino declare his innocence for eating a cake at the Genda Law office, or helping a kid and his father deal with the Yakuza, all while Kaito is acting like a superhero cop-off of TV. All in all, this game's story is amazing. I would recommend it to any gamer out there. It has fun story, interactive gameplay, and so much more to explore. Judgment has two different fighting styles. The first is the Crane style, which is suited for taking out large groups of enemies. The second is the Tiger style, which is suited for taking out one enemy at a time. Either style can be used for either situation, but they are designed specifically for their respective scenarios. The Crane style has wide range attacks that can easily dispatch large groups, and on the other hand, Tiger has tight, compact attacks that deal massive damage and hit stun to make a singular target into mincemeat. Knowing which style to use for your fighting situation can make the difference. Some enemies are always resistant to certain styles, however, and your attacks will bounce off of them. In this case, you may have to use the opposite fighting style regardless of the situation. The main way you'll be dealing damage in the mid to late game is through EX actions. These are moves where Yagami will perform a powerful, cinematic attack to deal massive damage to your enemies. It will take a bar of your EX gauge, which can be seen on the top left side of the screen near Yagami's health bar. You can also see which style you're in. There are various ways to perform these EX actions. You can do it by grabbing enemies, using items you pick up around the area, jumping off walls, being drunk, and much more. You can unlock many more EX actions in the battle section of the skills menu. Alongside the EX gauge and the EX actions is the EX boost. This is Yagami's most powerful state, where his attacks are faster, do more damage, and any damage you take will be absorbed by the EX gauge rather than your health bar. To activate this, when you have at least one bar of EX gauge, press the R2 button. There are also exclusive EX actions and combos in this state, such as the following. The Tiger by far has the most depth of the two fighting styles, however. There are many abilities you can unlock to make the combat deeper, such as Elegance of the Tiger, which makes it to where during EX boost, you can quick step out of any move in the middle of the animation. This pretty much gives you endless potential and makes you into an anime fighting game character. As stated before, you can jump off the walls as well. You can do a light attack, strong attack, grab attack, or EX action from it. Things like this are what make Yagami feel so unique in combat compared to the other Yakuza game protagonists. You can also unlock a consumable called extracts from a friend in the game. These extracts can give you various abilities such as increased combo speed, additional combo attacks, and increased SP gain, which is what you will use to purchase skills. Use these to give you an edge in those tough sections as needed. It will give even more depth and fun to Yagami's arsenal. Judgment's combat is absolutely great, but it can get old, as with all Yakuza games, since you will be getting in a lot of random encounters. You can, however, choose to run from the battle, but where's the fun in that? With that said, craft your own combat style and take down all enemies. Judgment, as with all the Yakuza games, have side stories, which are called side cases in this game, and they are all amazing fun for the most part. One moment you'll be chasing the painting professor, and the next you'll be fighting an old man virgin, which I'm not kidding. Some of them are absolutely ridiculous, and some are great stories that you can actually learn something from. Judgment has a perfect balance and knows how to shift between serious stories and comedic ones. There are 50 side cases in total that you unlock throughout various means. The 3 ways are getting cases at Yagami Detective Agency, Tender Bar, and Genda Law Office. They are also a decent way of making money in the early games, since you typically make at least 80,000 yen from each job, and they aren't very long. They also give SP for your skill upgrades. You can also get some side cases from friends you make around the city. The friends are indicated by the green handshake on the map. If it is a light green color, that means you haven't maxed it out. If it is dark green, then you have completed the friendship. Each time you make a friend, your reputation goes up and allows you to take on more and more side cases. These friends are kind of like side cases on their own. Some will need to be done to get certain side cases, like one where you must get a photo of a politician cannot be done until you befriend a certain photographer. These friends are actually pretty interesting people, but some can lead you on the long searching journeys, such as the drone racer Sebastian, who makes you scan 50 QR codes around the city. He does reward you with amazing drone parts, however, which will make the drone racing I will talk about in the next section much easier. I would actually recommend this game for the side cases alone. A lot of times when games try to do comedy, it's cringe and tone deaf, but this game is genuinely funny and well thought out. There were multiple times where I had to pause the game to laugh so I wouldn't miss anything. It isn't afraid to subvert your expectations in the weirdest but best way, and I love it for that. The person who made the dialogue and characters for these seriously put in some overtime or something. I mean, watch this and tell me this isn't funny as fuck. You can also get girlfriends in the game, 4 to be exact, each having their own personalities and problems. As you spend time with them and go on dates, the intimacy level will go up. Each level it goes up is a new stage, you could say, to the relationship, where you will learn more about the girls and do new things together. On the dates, if you choose the correct options during conversation and impress them during the dates, you can have the intimacy meter go up even more. If you do every date perfectly, then you'll never have to do more than 1 for each intimacy level. If you do mess up, however, it's fine, because all you need to do is spend more time with them so they like you more. At the end of each relationship, they confess to you, and at that point you can choose to date them or reject them. You can date all 4 girls at once, and the game will silently judge you as you do so, but nothing is stopping you from doing that. All in all, Judgment side cases are a definite Yandere Gogeta hit, and I think you have to experience them for yourself. Yeah, that was pretty cringe, huh? For the most part, you're going to be spending all of your time inside the city of Kamurocho, aside from the occasional parts of the story where you temporarily visit other locations. Luckily, the world of Kamurocho in this game feels very organic and lively. No matter where you go, you'll see people talking, chilling in stores, or walking around their everyday lives. Here's a small clip of me roaming around the city to demonstrate. There are tons of minigames to do, ranging from several gambling games like Shogi, Mahjong, and Blackjack to playing an arcade scrolling shooter at a Sega arcade. My favorite side activity to do, however, is drone racing. You have to collect all of the best drone parts you can get your hands on and build a drone that has the statistics good enough to get you through the tough tournaments. By the end, when you reach the Champion League, you essentially have to play perfectly and have a perfectly built drone for each course's needs. Some you will need speed, and some you may need handling. It's a lot of fun, and it's a definite good collectible game as a side. There are also a ton of entire games in the game itself. You can play fighting games like Virtua Fighter 2, Virtua Fighter 5, and various classic arcade games. The fact they are in the game at all is kind of amazing to me. And if you enjoy these games on their own, then you could easily get multiple hours out of them alone as you try to go for top scores or just get better at them in general. As stated before, you can do gambling mini-games such as Mahjong. Well, to confess, I had never played Mahjong before in my life and had no idea how it worked. To get 100% game completion for this video and for my PlayStation trophy collection, I had to make that change. I spent a total of 20 hours playing and learning Mahjong just from this game, and I discovered that it can be really damn fun, even if the AI is bullshit sometimes. Yagami's exaggeration in his moves during the game is what really elevated it for me. How many games can you think of that compel you to learn an entirely different game inside of it? I can't think of many other than this. Granted, these minigames are a staple in most RGG games at this point, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't get a point from me. It's additional content that is fun. There is so much to do and explore in the world of Kamurocho, so this is another huge positive from your boy Yan. Again, as stated in most topics of discussion in this video, I implore you to explore this kick-ass world yourself. You may end up as a Mahjong addict like myself. In conclusion, Judgment is a nearly perfect game to me, and it made me damn excited for the sequel to Lost Judgment. The combat in that game is even better than this one, and I will be doing a review for that game as well after I finish it, so subscribe if you want to see that. The story is stellar and is one of the most memorable I have played in recent memory. The characters are well developed and have a lot of personality and charm to them. The combat is good, the side cases are almost as good as the main game itself, the open world is rich in content and life that you'll be fully immersed and busy the entire time you play. I'm going to give this game a 9 out of 10. I don't know how RGG Studio does it, but they have released another masterpiece, and I demand that everyone who has made it to the end of this video, if you have not already, to purchase and play this video game. You will not regret it. I would like to thank everyone who made it to the end of this video. This video took me a little while to get done just because the script took me a while, to beat the game took me a while. It took me 130 something hours to beat it and platinum it. But as a thank you to getting to the end of this video, I am going to make a compilation of all the stupid screenshots I got from this game. So, like I said, please like, comment, and subscribe. A Lost Judgment review is coming, so be ready for that. So yeah, love you guys. Enjoy the little screenshot compilation and have a good day.